Hi everyone, this is CY once again. Thanks for joining me today. And I'm just going to test this new coffee skill which I purchased in China, right? Which is called the professional donut coffee skill, right? Why is it called a donut? Because it is actually a ring shape, it looks exactly like a donut, and we're going to see how good is this coffee skill as compared to my other cheaper skill. Right, this skill is, I think, is around, if I remember correctly, I think I purchased it at around $30 to $40. I'm talking about Singapore dollar, and it is actually a skill that is meant for, I believe, is actually meant for, let's say, filter coffee, because it's round, and when I put my my filter coffee set on it, I can just key the number at the side. So without further ado, let me unbox this and then show you how does it look like, right? Yep, so this is actually the scale. The box is pretty solid, pretty nice, right? It is the model HYDK2116. Has a range between 1 to 2,000 grams. I think this is I haven't really checked whether, I think this is a rechargeable version, right? But if not, you can use 3 units of the AAA battery, right? So, and it comes with a USB cable, right? So let's open this and take a look. It is a pretty new company. I think it only started in year 2020, right? By this company called the Probarista, right? As you can see from the label here. By the way, I'm not affiliated to this company, right? I purchased this unit myself, and I'm going to give you my honest feedback on this coffee scale that we are going to unbox right now, right? So of course it comes with an instructional manual, right? Right, pretty well packed, right? There's a foam all around. Right, and it comes with a sort of a foam padding, right? And this is actually the scale, right? And hence the name of the donut, right? Because it really looks like a donut, right? So and that's all. I think there's a USB cable at the side for charging. And let me put the box aside. Right, and I think this is, let me see, yeah, this is there's a rechargeable point here, and I think you can also use battery if you want to. So this is a dual mode version for power, right? Oh, okay, I think I turned on accidentally, so let me off it first. Right, okay, so on off it can be done easily. So let me bring you closer to see the scale itself. Right, so this is the actual scale, right? This is the size of the Akaya, right? So you can see that it is slightly bigger than the Akaya. In terms of thickness, right, it is definitely thicker, right? You can see that, right, the Akaya is a lot more slim, right? And I think I trigger the starting again. And this is the Felicita, right? So I'm just comparing the size of the scale to give you an idea how big the scale is, right? So this is the Felicita, right? So in terms of the diameter, the Felicita is slightly smaller than the Probarista donut scale, right? And some of my cheaper scale that we sell at the shop, right? This is the kind of scale that we have, right? It is similar, right? But this one is totally rechargeable version, right? It has it's charged by USB-C, and then this is the version that we have in our shop, right? Right. So let's switch it on. Right, switch on is very sensitive to switching on, but how accurate is actually the measuring, right? So let's test the measuring and see how accurate this thing is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Akaya as a reference, right? And you can see whether it can pick up the weight, the mass of anything that I put on it accurately, right? So now I'm going to test this puck screen. right? It measures 23.2 grams on the Akaya. 23.1. So it is about 0.1 gram difference. Let's test it again over here. Right, 23.2. 23.1. So there's a 0.1 gram of difference. Let's test it over on my cheaper scale as well. 22.1. So both of the cheaper scale actually give me the same reading, and it seems that the Akaya is able to give me a slightly higher reading as compared to the other two. Oh, now Akaya also read 23 or 23.2, right? So that is okay. So it's actually picking up between 23.1 and 23.2, right? So I think this is pretty accurate on as compared to the Akaya, right? But the main thing is why is Akaya so much more expensive than the rest, and even the Felicita is also much more expensive. This is the reason of the beans, right? So it's how sensitive the scale is and the ability to link up to apps, of course. And then if you look at this, if I put one beans, right, it can register 0.1 gram, right? However, if I do it on the Probarista, right, it switch off by itself to conserve power. So let me show you. If I put on the Probarista, right, it is not able to register any coffee, right? So let me show you on the Akaya again using the same beans, right? It can pick up 0.1. As on the Probarista, right, it doesn't pick up any. If there's only one bean, if I put two beans, it still doesn't register. So let's see how many beans I'll need to allow the coffee scale to start registering the mass of the beans. Right, there are 3 now. Still no. Let's put another one. Right, so when I put on the 4th coffee bean, right, it started to register 0.6 grams of coffee. Let me remove and see whether it can register. Right, nothing, right? So if you look at the Akaya, that's the reason why Akaya is a lot more expensive. Right, 0.4, 0.5, and then 0.6, right? So in terms of accuracy, right, both are around the same. You can see Akaya is registering 0.7, 0.6, 0.7, whereas the Probarista donut scale, right, it is also registering 0.6. So in terms of accuracy, both are pretty on point. But in terms of sensitivity, the Akaya is definitely a lot more sensitive as compared to the other cheaper scales that you are getting, right? So now let's brew a cup of coffee and see how this scale perform, right? So let me remove all the coffee bean. Right, so I'm gonna do I think I will be doing filter coffee today. So let me put it on. Okay, it's registering. Okay, let me zero it because I put a sort of a cushion on. This is the cushion supplied by the machine. Let me put it on. Right, it is measuring about 527.2 grams. So let me show on my Akaya to see what is the mass I'm registering here. 527.5. 527.1. So there's a 0.4 grams of difference. 527.5. So definitely the I would say the Akaya is okay. Let me bring out my another scale. Right, this is the Felicita. Right, so far it's a 527.5 on the Akaya, 527.4 on the Felicita. Right, so with two scale comparison, definitely the Probarista donut scale, oh, now it's reading 527.1, still the same. So there's actually a 0.3 grams of difference as compared to the other more expensive scale that we have in our shop, right? So now let's try to use this, right, to make some coffee. And today we're going to use the Ethiopian yogurt chef, right, which we have roasted end of August. Okay, for filter coffee, let's do at 12. right on my the Chinese made of the EK 43S, right? It's not really the EK, but then it's made in China. Let's do 20 grams. Right, and the reason why I got this scale is really I like the design, right? So the design is really appealing to me. The round shape kind of looks cool and different from the other scale that we have in our shop. Most of the scale that we get is all rectangular or squarish in shape, but this particular one is round and it looks like a donut, and it's pretty cool, right? Okay, so let's get ready our filtered paper. By the way, we are the authorized distributor for the 3 Bomber brand in Singapore, and we also carry any filter paper that from them as well for any for V60 or for Kalita, right? We have it all in our shop. If you're interested, you can always drop us a message. Okay, let's heat up the cup. Right. Let's turn on the weighing scale. Smells really good. I may have grinded a little too fine. Right, 20.8. I think there's a slight difference. Okay. Okay, let's do 50 grams of blooming for about 30 seconds. Right, it beeps every 1 minute. I think it's similar to other scale. Right, we're going to use 3-stage pour. Right, and I'm going to swirl again. We are aiming at about 2.5 minutes of drawn down time. So I think in terms of ergonomics and the design, it's really cool. Right, 2 minutes. So it gives you a sound kind of beeping reminder. Right, but this function is already available in other cheaper scale that I have. So this is nothing special. But I'm really just attracted by the design and the ergonomics of this weighing scale. Right, we are aiming at about 2.5 to about 3 minutes, and I'm going to use about 1:15 ratio Right, so the last pour, I'm going to stop at 300 gram. Slightly more is fine. And then I'm just going to swirl again. Right, and I'm just going to let it draw down, and then we'll taste the coffee. So as you can see, we have already exceeded 3 minutes. That means my grind size, I have to grind a little bit coarser. So on my NCG 500S, I have to grind probably at 13, right? So I have to remember the number or record it somewhere so that I can remember this grind setting for filter coffee, because normally I only do espresso. But it does, this NCG 500S does great filter coffee as well. Right, it's a 90mm flat burr grinder. Right, let me show you the bed. The bed is a little bit muddy, right, as you can see, but it's not too bad. Right, a little bit muddy as compared to my usual filter coffee style, right? But nonetheless, let's test the coffee and see how it goes, right? Right, so okay, let's test the coffee. And the skill, you can just leave it aside because it will auto off by itself. Right, so on the whole, right, I kind of like this skill, just because of this design. But whether it's worth paying another $15 or $20 more as compared to something like this, right? So these two scales, in terms of function, they are exactly identical, right? This is about $25. I believe this is about 35 to 40, I think. So I'm not too sure whether the $15 is justifiable for its function, but in terms of look, I think it's worth it. Okay, so now let's try the coffee. Right, so let's try the coffee. Alright, so cheers. Wow, it's really sweet. This is totally enjoyable, right? So I think I'm really in love with my NCG 500S from Perfex, right? It is bigger, definitely much bigger, but I just like it because of the larger process, and the stopper is pretty good in both espresso and filter coffee. So cheers and thanks for joining. So I hope you like my video content, and this is CY once again. Thanks for joining us today, and remember to hit the like button and subscribe to our channels, and share the videos with your friend, and don't forget to ring the bell, right, if you want to stay updated with our content, right? So I'll see you very soon, and stay safe.